Hey, what's up, you guys?
What's going on?
Life in America.
Yeah, it's been a rough,
2021 is going to be the best.
Listen, I told people not to jinx it. They all thought 2021 was going to be great.
It's going to be our year.
2021 was like...
No.
We're like, it's just 2020. It's just extending. It's fine.
It's okay. I don't know.
It's been a week.
For America. Everyone else is like, glad we're not there.
Rest of America's like, glad we're not in D.C.
I was telling you earlier, I wonder if other countries look at us like a reality show. Like,
Oh, yeah.
The Real Housewives or something like that.
But for real.
We turn on the episode, there's always something going on.
Oh, yeah.
Every day, every week.
Mm-hmm. For sure. They've got to. I'd be like, what is...
I also saw this thing online where it's like, guys, I hate having to go through a major historical event every day. It's every day now. And I don't like it.
I think I saw something on TikTok, too, that was like, can I not live through history?
It's just rough. It's
It is.
like, okay, it's like when you're sick and you have like a stuffy nose and you're like, wow, I really took for granted the days when I wasn't sick, right?
Yeah, you're like, this is the worst.
I am taking for granted like those boring years
When nothing
happened.
Right?
When we actually had a regular presidential debate, when people didn't riot and loot.
When you could say who you supported and just, it was like...
It was okay.
Okay, I disagree with you, but
Continue.
whatever. Now it's like, oh my God. You are the worst person. Yeah, no, you really do take for granted those days that, like,
Yeah.
it was just chill.
Yeah.
I mean, there was stuff going on, but it wasn't like this.
Or like when you were a kid and you didn't have to pay attention to the outside world because it didn't
It
affect
didn't
you.
matter.
To be young.
I wish we had those days.
Can we get like Hermione's time turner? Just go back to,
Right.
I don't know.
Right? That'd be amazing. It'd be perfect.
Be great.
It really would.
So I told you that like I caved in and got a TikTok earlier, and I made a video on there the other day that was like, I feel like American politics is like the Star Wars prequels. Because in the
Yeah, I was gonna
prequels,
say, how
like,
so?
in episodes 1, 2, and 3, you see Senator Palpatine, and obviously he's like the Dark Lord, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he eventually takes control as the Emperor, and like the Dark Lord of the Sith, and takes over the Jedi and the Senate and all that. I'm thinking like him and the Senate and everyone that's working for him is kind of like American politics.
Kinda.
And corporations and all these
Yeah, they're-
top 1% of society.
They're taking over.
They're taking over. They don't really care about the common people. They just care about themselves and getting more power
Yep.
and taking control of the government, which in Star Wars is the Senate.
Well, they are. Because did you see what they're doing now with just like social media?
Yeah, they're just blocking people and
And then they stopped like I don't know who it was, but they started a new like version of Twitter
okay.
called Parler. And now all of a sudden they're like, if you don't censor people, we're going to take it off, like Apple and Google, like we're taking it off our app stores. So now they're preventing people from downloading
Right.
Parler because Parler's like, no, it's free speech.
Yeah. So what they're telling me when they delete tweets or suspend accounts because they don't agree with them or whatever, like what you're essentially doing is like preventing free speech, which is the First Amendment.
Well,
But if a conservative doesn't agree with a liberal, the liberal's like, oh, but it's free speech. I can post whatever I want.
mm-hmm.
Well, what about equality, which you're apparently all for?
Boom.
What about free speech, which you're apparently all
Boom.
for. But and if I censor, and if a liberal gets censored or they get a tweet taken down,
Yeah, if.
oh, it's a huge issue.
If.
Right. They never would.
No.
It's like, yeah, if a conservative bashes Biden, oh, the tweet is taken down. But if a liberal bashes Trump, oh my gosh, that's fine.
Oh, of course.
Why is that? Like, that's a redundant question for you, but like everyone else out there, like,
Right.
why is that?
Well, we got to think of it in terms like that because, like, they'll claim. I've heard someone say it's because there's a Nazi, white supremacist rhetoric behind it it's bad for it to spread.
Yeah.
Okay, but free speech.
Right.
And also, I think what you're doing is making the people who are on the other side more angered, and they're just going to continue to, like, revolt. You're not actually helping them to, like, change their mind.
Right.
You're making them actually more, like, solidified
Yeah.
in that because now they don't feel heard.
Yeah. And I feel like I do have to say this every time we talk about this, but like I'm very much like a centrist where like I don't really go for one side or the other. Like I try to stay in the middle. But like what happened at the Capitol this past week where people were storming the Capitol and going in, and by the way, the costume of that freaking Viking guy,
Oh my God.
like as wrong as it was to storm the Capitol building, like that costume was the greatest thing in the world. I loved it. I want to, and you know what's crazy? People are going to be that for Halloween this year.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yes, you're right.
But the point is, like, these people rioting and storming the Capitol building, like, people are obviously saying that's not okay, and, like, whatever. But, and a lot of these people are, like, you know, conservatives and liberals saying that. But they're also forgetting that, like, last year, throughout the entire year,
Yeah.
people were rioting and looting for Black Lives Matter.
But no, those were mostly peaceful protests, Dave.
No.
I think why I don't necessarily disagree with it, and I think that's what you're kind of saying, is there was a reason for them to be storming the Capitol. Like, they were trying to take over the government because that's literally in our Constitution to allow us to do.
Yeah.
When we feel that the government is not listening to the people.
Like, literally, the Founding Fathers expressly said that.
Literally, it's in our Constitution that the people can take over the government if the government ever forgets that they work for the people.
Yeah.
That not the people working for the government.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's my point is, like, last year with the Black Lives Matter movement, that's obviously a good movement to get behind at its core because, like, of course, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter,
Sure.
this whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. The difference is they are rioting and looting cities all over America. And they're burning and looting businesses, large and small businesses. Like, okay,
People's livelihoods.
yeah, like, I'm sorry, the little deli down the street is obviously anti-Black Lives Matter, so you should loot them, right?
Well, and they're burning black businesses. Like,
Yeah, and taking down black statues and people who fought for black rights. Like, if this was really about Black Lives Matter, you wouldn't be doing about all that stuff.
exactly.
The difference between that and what happened this past week is, like, what happened this past week was very direct, and, like, people were doing this for a reason. Like, because of what they believe is a government that's not working for the people anymore.
They wanted to make sure.
Like, they're not going to attack the deli down the street in Nebraska
Right.
because of an evil government.
It didn't spread from cities to cities.
Right.
Like the Black Lives Matter do. I mean, people in Europe were protesting.
Yeah.
It's like, it didn't spread. It was direct. It was...
Yeah, it's like, okay, we believe that the government is not working for the people, so what are we going to attack? Not the deli down the street. We're going to attack the government.
when they're in session.
Yeah. Now, look, was that the best way to do that? Probably not. But, like, at the same time, like,
Well, I think... Well, exactly. I think that they kind of... And we still don't know all the facts, right? About
Right.
who actually...
yeah. And people that think that they do know all the facts, first of all, you're wrong.
I mean, the way I look at it is that is one of the most secure buildings on a normal day.
Yeah.
On a
How do
normal
people
day,
just
they have snipers.
Right.
They have the vice president was in there. You're not telling me he didn't have his security?
Right.
His I forgot what they call
And
it. Like social, or what do they call it? Like
the Secret Service.
Secret Service.
And I love all the comments that are like, what is it? We spend billions of dollars on military and like defense budgeting every year, but you guys can't defend our own capital?
That's what makes no sense. How did they get into
How do you
Pelosi's office?
How do you just stroll in there?
How do you exactly?
If our defense is as good as everybody claims it is, then why are you just walking in there? How are you allowed to just walk in there?
That's what made no sense to me. Like, how are they even allowed to climb up that without? Because they're snipers. Supposedly, I don't know if that's factual or not. But
on a normal day, if you and me just decided to go inside the Capitol, like we'd be shot down probably. Especially if our intention was to riot.
Especially if the Senate and the vice president were in that building.
Yeah, we'd be shot down.
Right.
Especially if we were trying to riot.
Oh, for sure.
Like, seriously?
For sure.
And everyone's trying to say, like, oh, there were so many more people than there were police, so they couldn't get them all. It's like, okay, first of all, shut up.
Wait, now you want the police?
Oh.
Now you want the police?
8 months ago, you were like, no, defund you.
But now you want the police?
No, that's okay. Just change your mind whenever it suits you.
Rhetoric, right?
Right.
No, but I think that's why I can sort of get behind it.
Yeah.
And not get behind it like I agree with the violence and everything.
Right,
Because,
but
I really don't.
We
But
agree with what they were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, because honestly, I think a lot of people feel it's come to a point where you can't just trust the process and the Constitution to work out how it's written.
And you can't just blindly follow the news and be like, oh yeah, what's actually happening was what Fox News or CNN is actually saying. Because I got something to explain to you guys. People lie.
What?
People lie to you.
Especially the news.
And people are just like, no, not the news, not the government. No, especially them.
So this is what I don't understand. We all know how politicians are, yet every time they're either running for office or whatever it is, everyone's like, oh, but they said they're going to do this, this, and this. It's like,
Yeah.
You know they lie.
And here's the thing, if you can say that your opponent always lies, they do this and that, and everything they do is completely normal, legal. If you are attacking the opposition, but not realizing that your own side has done shady stuff. Really? Both sides have done it. Your side is not perfect just because you agree with it.
Exactly. Okay, I tend to lean more right.
Right.
But I even know the right side isn't always good.
Great. Yeah.
They have extremists on both sides. There's extreme right.
Yeah.
That I don't agree with.
Yeah.
You have to really, you can't just say one side is better than the other.
When I will say, 90% of people are okay with sitting down and having a normal conversation, right? Maybe not that high.
I think it used to be. Now
I would say most people, hopefully, are okay with sitting down, having a conversation, and if you agree with me, fine. If you don't, no big deal. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people that I don't know if they just can't process that or if they just feel like they so desperately need to be right.
I don't know.
Like, I wonder what goes through their head when they just deny
The
whatever
facts on the other side.
Yeah.
I think that, especially lately, it's a very, like, and I think the news has created this, to be honest with you, a very us versus them mentality. Like, no matter what side you're on, right?
Yeah.
If you're not with us, you're the enemy, you're on the other side.
Yeah. And I did hear this about, like, the House and the Senate, because was it the House that it's, like, the new people are coming in, like, as of a couple days ago?
The Georgia?
No, this
That
was like
the yeah, the House, I think,
the
is
House.
new.
It's like the new House that came in, and what I heard was, and I forget who told me this, was like, when the new people come in, as soon as they enter, they split people up between Democrats and Republicans. And what they're told is, oh, you have to do, you know, what's right for your political party, and those guys over there, the opposition, like, they're no good, like, they're against you. Like, that's what they're told. And they said, like, anything that you do is for your political party. Like, any decision you make has to be for the better of your political party.
Instead of what's best
Instead
for
of
America.
But, like, instead of coming together, the entire House, and deciding, hey, you know, let's work this out together.
Do what's best for...
No, it has to be us versus them. It has to be Democrats versus Republicans. If I'm a Republican, I have to come together with my little Republican friends and be like, okay, those guys over there, they're bad.
Well, what I will say is, I feel like, and I'm not saying this just because I lean more Republican, but there's a lot of infighting with the Democrats.
Yeah.
And I've heard this from Democrats too. Like,
right.
There's a lot of, they fight within their party, where Republicans are more united in a way.
Well, and also
I don't
think
know if
about it,
united
like,
is a word, but like,
they're
more organized.
Yeah. I will say, like, in the last decade, like, think how many times the Republicans have rioted and looted. And, well, other than the other day.
None?
Yeah.
Or am I missing something?
No, but I'm saying, like, compared to, like, the Democrats, like, how many times in the last 10 to 20 years have you heard them rioting or coming together to loot and stuff? It's like, it's probably more, like, I'm basing this off nothing.
It's all been in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Because someone had the idea of, we're going to put America first.
Right. And also, the Democrats are trying to impeach Trump again?
He has 13 days left. They want to evoke the 25th Amendment.
Why are you trying to impeach him when he has less than a month left in office?
It makes zero sense.
Like, by the time you... Like, let's say the impeachment actually works, right? By the time you actually get the impeachment settled and get him out of office, he'll already be out of office.
Exactly.
Like, what's the point? What's the point? Your guy is already set to go into the White House.
Trump literally said, he's like, we're going to make it a peaceful transition. Okay. Trump's not fighting it anymore.
Right.
Just let him... I think they really... I don't know what it is, but they think he provoked this, and I'm like...
Right. Really? How?
How? Because he said he said to go protest.
He didn't say to storm the Capitol.
He didn't... Right.
But if...
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're right. If it was the other way, it wouldn't be his fault.
No. And they wouldn't be trying to impeach him right now.
Right. Well, like, okay, look at when the Black Lives Matter protests were going on, Trump was saying, like, I understand your cause, but let's do this peacefully.
Right.
Like, he called for a peaceful protest, no more rioting. Biden didn't condemn it.
Right.
But that was okay.
Right.
And it's like, but they were burning cities. Like, do you know how many cities have damage now?
Yeah. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast when he had Bill Burr on.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking about Seattle, how they had, like, a little sanctioned area where the police basically didn't exist.
Uh-huh.
It was just run by the people. And he was saying, like, how insane it is. But also he brought up the point, like, so these people are running this area, right? Like, without police, without government, whatever. Eventually, they're going to get hungry. And they're going to need food and supplies. Where are they going to get it from?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not going to do it in that little area. Mm-hmm. They're going to get it from other areas that have people that work and provide them with that. And they have police.
Exactly.
It's like, you guys need the police. You guys need people who will supply you with this stuff.
Yep.
You guys need all this stuff that you're trying to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not going to work.
So that's where I feel like a lot of people can't come to this agreement because of this over my, like, us versus them mentality. I'm totally in agreement if you say, hey, police training needs to be longer.
Right.
Their training needs to be, there needs to be stricter requirements to become a police officer.
Yeah.
They need different kinds of training. You need to hold more people accountable in the police organization. Cool. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because is there probably a police brutality problem?
Yeah.
Just in general? Yeah.
Well, I'm going off that, too. People are saying, like, the George Floyd death was not okay, which obviously it was not okay, right?
Obviously. I don't think anyone would say it was.
And people are saying, like, oh, like, this was a white police officer attacking a black person, a black defenseless person, which, like, obviously that's not okay, but white on black crime in terms of police is such a small percentage.
Right.
Like, if you look at the stats and you look on white crime, like a white cop attacking a white guy, or a black officer attacking a black guy, or a black officer attacking a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
All those numbers are so, like...
Yeah.
A white cop killing a black guy, obviously not okay, but that's like 0.01% of all cop killings.
Exactly.
And I get it, it should be 0%, but at the same time, like...
Exactly. Like, okay. I think it had less to do with race than the police officer just had a power control.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not okay, and it's not excusing it, but, like, it wasn't...
Because whether or not it's a white or a black guy that died, like, that cop was not...
A police officer should not be doing that.
Right. Like, that cop was not okay.
And I listened to this, I don't know what I was watching, but it was this, I think he was a Marine.
Yeah.
He was in some military, and he was saying, like, that there needs to be, I think maybe the police officers, not only does the police officer need to be held accountable, but also their superiors.
Right.
Because, like, that police officer that killed George Floyd had prior incidents in his record.
Right.
But he was still hired. So that's where there needs to be the change in that structure of, like, okay, so if he had prior, like, incidents, why is another county hiring him? Like, that's where the system needs to change.
Yeah. I heard this joke about, like, brain surgeons, right? Like, brain surgery is such a tough, like, it's an insanely tough profession to get into and to have a degree in. And they're saying, like, if you're not a good brain surgeon, you know what they do with you? They don't let you become a brain surgeon.
Right. Right.
Like, they don't let you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't that be the same with a lot of other jobs?
Absolutely.
Like, if you're trying to be a cop, but, like, you're not okay mentally, or if you have a power control issue, they shouldn't let you become a cop.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And that's that's the thing. It's like, just because I didn't support those protests doesn't mean that I can't sit there and go, yeah, dude, change the police system.
I agree with you. Just do a better job of going about it.
Exactly. Like, yeah. let's make the requirements for police officers a little harder to get into.
Yeah.
Let's give them training on, like, okay, if someone's having a panic attack, they're not, like...
Right.
They're not, what are they calling it? Resisting
Yeah.
arrest. They're having a panic attack.
Right.
So let's teach the police officers, like, okay, this is a panic attack. They're not resisting.
Right.
Because if you look at it from a police officer standpoint, they're in danger a lot of times.
Right.
Because they're not going to the nice areas, and...
They're constantly looking over their shoulders, like...
Not that that's an excuse, but, like, that's just their...
Right.
They have that fear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give them more training.
Yeah.
Tell, like...
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it needs to happen. But, like...
Yeah.
Just go about it differently.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
But also, like what happened in Atlanta where the guy stole his taser, you can't blame the cops for that.
Right.
Like, if you steal a cop's taser or their weapon,
Right.
what do you expect's gonna happen?
Right.
Like...
Okay, so this was also, like, this made me laugh about the whole Capitol thing. Is there was, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a lady that was being interviewed, and she was, like, in tears, just saying, like everything that's happened, and, like, oh, these people were being terrible, and, like, she was a part of it, and she had a towel in her hand, and she was, like, dabbing the tears and sweat away from her eyes. But if you can see, like, in part of the clip when she was holding her towel down, has an onion in the towel, and she's dabbing her eyes with the onion so she can force herself to cry.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you that after the podcast, but, like, she's, like, hidden in the
What?
towel. She's dabbing her eyes with the onion, and it's like, oh, no, what's going on is terrible. Like, of course it is. You're dabbing your eye with an onion.
Oh, my...
Now that's fake news.
Hashtag.
Hashtag fake news.
That's insane.
Right.
But see, I think that's where the media plays it up.
Right.
Because they're not going to show you, like, the footage that goes against their rhetoric.
Right.
That they're trying to push that Trump is this evil dictator that
Yeah.
wanted all of these people to do this.
Right.
No. No. They're going to show you that, oh, look, these people are crying.
Also, look, in 4 years, if Biden gets voted out of office and a bunch of liberals storm the Capitol, I can guarantee you the liberals would be like, oh, no, like, they'll be saying the same thing that Trump supporters are saying now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The same exact thing.
Yeah. And I know a lot of Trump supporters and Republicans will say, like, oh, you know, the left is such hypocriticals, but the right can be hypocritical too.
Yeah.
Like, I will say that too.
Yeah.
But, like, you're right. They'll be saying the same thing. It wasn't that bad. Or they were just trying to overthrow the government like our Constitution allows us.
I'm going to copy the articles that are going on right now and paste it 4 years later, just like, hey, here you go. Here's what happened 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Against the people that, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
If they even allow Biden to get out of office.
Ooh, then I'll be part of the people to kind of get him out.
Same. Same.
I mean, you know.
I know a lot of people that actually said they won't vote in the next election because they don't feel like
It won't matter.
it won't matter. They're like they're gonna cheat.
Yeah.
And ballot harvest and ballot dump, and so why am I gonna vote?
Right.
Which I think is sad because
Right.
we should have some kind of trust in our election system.
Wait a minute, what? You mean we should actually trust our government?
Not our government, just the
Oh,
process
okay.
of election.
Yeah.
I don't know. George Orwell's looking pretty accurate at this point.
Him and Senator Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
The Star Wars prequels.
Listen, I heard The Simpsons predicted this too.
I know they predicted Trump would be in office,
Yeah,
but also like the riots.
No, I guess they predicted, like, they showed, it said, like, Trump Putin on The Simpsons. But it had people voting with masks on.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know.
We should be worried about The Simpsons, I think.
Right? Maybe they're trying to take over.
Maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'd be okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's not the point of the
I was
podcast,
gonna say,
but
enough politics.
how you guys doing?
Ugh, I feel like it's hard not to talk about it because it's
Let
so,
me just dab my eyes with an onion real quick.
yeah. Just to show how real upset I am about this. Oh my god. People are such idiots. Dabbing your eye with onions.
Like, literally, you can look it up, like, YouTube, lady dabs eyes with onions at protest, whatever. I'm sure it'll come up.
Oh, we're going to look it up after the podcast.
Yeah. Anyway.
For sure.
So, anyway, again, that's not the point of the podcast. What is the point? Is, I guess it was 3 or 4 weeks ago that we assigned celebrities and musicians to Hogwarts houses.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, like, okay, who's Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin? And that's kind of like the Harry Potter area, like the nerdy area, obviously. But we're going to head home with me a little bit today.
Yeah, head to your territory.
This is my territory. You got your wands, I got my swords.
This is true.
Yep. So I was looking at like Lord of the Rings, like the different races, like men, elves, dwarves, hobbits, and we can even put like wizards in there.
Yeah.
Or if someone is terrible enough, we can say like, oh, they're an orc.
This is true.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick celebrities. I tried to do like some different ones, but I know some of them are gonna be the same, and try to decide like what race of Middle Earth people they are.
Yeah.
Which should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like, well...
What race would you be?
Probably a hobbit. Like, maybe a little bit of, like, human in me, but, like, definitely a hobbit. Because did you pull up the article about, like, what each race is like?
So it says, hobbits tend to be simple folk with no interest in the outside world. They usually distrust anything unusual and instead value a peaceful life of farming, eating, and spending time with friends and family.
Yeah. I think that's you too, right? I think that's what you wanted.
Yeah. I would be a hobbit.
Because who doesn't want to live in the Shire, right?
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I guess, like, also it hits home because it's like, just want to hang out with friends and family. I don't really care what...
Eat, drink, have fun, maybe garden a little bit.
Right?
And if you have a birthday, it's a massive celebration.
Perfect. I will say, like, they always, and I need to look into this a little bit more to know whether or not truly if I agree with it or not, but they say, like, if you have ADHD, it's like a farming brain.
Really?
Yeah. And it makes sense, right? Because, like, on the farm, you didn't have, like, all these, like, mentally hard tasks to do.
Right.
You know, you can just farm.
Right.
I mean, it's physically draining.
And you're up at, like, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But, and that, it kind of fits with, like, the ADHD brain.
Okay.
Of, like, I can wake up early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a lot of energy, so I can...
Just give me, like, a gallon of coffee and I'll be good.
That slows them down.
Oh.
Caffeine slows ADHD down.
Ooh.
Does the same thing that the venison does.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Fun fact.
All right.
But, so I can kind of see, like, I would like farming.
Yeah.
I mean, probably after a while I wouldn't.
Right. Give it a month.
Yeah. Like, this is tiring. I don't want to do this.
I just want to watch The Office.
I don't want to milk the cow. It sounds boring. No thanks.
Anyway, who's next?
Let's see. Well, you said maybe men too. You'd be like some human.
Yeah, a little human in me.
So what this says is Tolkien gave a far more cultural variation to men than he did to the other races. But as far as generalizations made out about men by other races, they tend to be courageous in battle, yet easily corrupted by greed or power. It's like a human thing.
Yeah. Because you saw, like, obviously in The Lord of the Rings, like, the humans were obviously very susceptible to the ring's power, like Boromir
Mm-hmm.
and Isildur in the flashback at the beginning of Fellowship, where, like, he just kind of took the ring off Sauron's finger and kind of kept it for his own, and that's what ended up getting him killed.
Right.
Whereas, like, Frodo and Sam were, like they could deal with it a little better, you know?
Well, I felt like the ring still overtook the hobbits, but it was
It was a slower process.
But it was more like it was the pull of the ring instead of like the
Yeah.
wanting the power. It was just like the pull of it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Also, like, I mean, you could kind of see, like, glimpses of, like, how it could affect a hobbit, because, like, Gollum was a hobbit too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it messed him up.
I just feel like I'm Pippin. Just want my second breakfast.
You're a very specific hobbit. You're Pippin.
I am. I just want a second breakfast and to just chill and hang out with my friends.
Get into mischief every once in a while.
Yeah. Just hang out at the bar.
Eat and drink. Just have fun.
Yeah.
With your cousin Mary.
Oh, Mary. I'd be Pippin.
Yeah.
I like the Hobbit's lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, like no drama, no
Right.
like.
And, like, very specifically, like, part of their whole mindset is, like, they don't really pay attention to the quote-unquote outside world, outside of the Shire, because, like, freaking why would you, right?
Right.
Like, hobbits have no beef with anyone else, right? Like, what, you know?
They just want to be left alone.
Yeah. And I read that, like, so many races in Middle-earth, like, didn't even really know what hobbits were because they were so excluded.
Yeah, they just keep to themselves.
Just have their own little bubble, you know?
Which sounds perfect.
Yeah.
But then let's see. Okay, so dwarfs, their characteristics, they tend to be hardy, secretive, and proud. They are usually less corruptible than men. Usually. They are drawn to the substances of Ardia?
It's, like, very, like under the earth, like, metals and all
Okay.
that, yeah.
Meaning stone, metal, and jewels.
Yeah.
And take great pleasure in crafting these objects. In battle, they fight violently and are known for their fury and vengeance. And then elves are wise, very wise, and generally incorruptible. They love nature, especially water and the stars. Other personality traits are more common in different cultures.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, what I kind of get the sense of is, like, men are very broad. Like, some of them are corruptible, some aren't. Some are very brave, some are more, like, chill.
Kind of like the human race.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, and dwarves are, like, very proud. They can be very stubborn. Like, what?
Gimli?
Gimli? Stubborn. But, yeah, they're very hardy and, like, hard-hearted.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, if they love you, they freaking love you, but, like, it's hard to get them to love you.
And they won't show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it because, like, diet-wise, they love, like, their meats and cheeses. Like, they're they are a very anti-vegan lifestyle. If they were living today, they'd be
Right?
like, just give me the meat, man.
They'd be like,
Take
"What
me to a
is this?
steakhouse.
What is this?" It's like that one scene in My Big Fat Greek Wedding
Yeah.
where she's like, "Oh, he's a vegetarian," and the whole family was like, and she's like, "What you talking about? You eat no meat." Whole family stops and stares, and she's like, "It's okay, I make lamb."
It's good stuff.
Lamb's meat. It's so funny, but
Right.
it's like that. They're like,
Yeah.
What? How could
Yeah.
you not eat meat?"
Yeah. And they're also like very like you said, like under the earth kind of people, like they like mining and like
Mm-hmm.
metals and jewels and rocks and like hard weapons like axes and
It
stuff.
kind
you
of
know?
reminds me of like what we consider like the hillbillies.
Yeah.
You know,
Like those people with like the long beards and
they just want to be farming and
yeah.
they're very stubborn.
Yeah. The very like the worker bees, like the trades,
Yeah.
like the trade skills.
tradesmen,
kinda,
yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then the elves are like kind of complete opposites, right? Like they're very like flowy and like hippie and
And why?
like they're like in tune with nature and
Yeah.
they are the vegans of the world.
It's a good way to put it.
It's like I like my salads, no meat. But yeah, like in Rivendell, like they're kind of tucked, like that city is kind of like tucked in the mountains, but like at the
Mhm.
same time it's like very flowing rivers and trees and
Very like mystical.
yeah, yeah,
Very mystical and fairy kind
yeah,
of like.
yeah. And then I don't know if any of our celebrities will fit into these last couple categories, but like they're like the wizards too, right? Which are like I feel like those are the guys that are like very wise, very knowledgeable. They have a broad knowledge of like everything,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just kind of like the leaders of the world, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
I mean, I would think I was kind of interested in if they would fit in with man, but I don't think they would. I think
Yeah.
they have their own.
yeah. They're like the Yodas of the Middle Earth world, in a sense.
Yota they be.
Yeah, or like the Dumbledores, or the
Mhm.
Yodas, you know, those very like old, wise, knowledgeable.
Almost like a higher power kind
Yeah.
of feeling.
Yeah,
And then you have the orcs.
which like they're just terrible.
Just the scum.
Yeah, like they follow orders, they do what they're told, and they're like these nasty.
They're the sheep.
Yeah, but like they aren't really free thinkers. They just do what they're told. They're like they're created to follow orders in a sense.
They're manufactured army,
Right.
basically. I
Yeah.
mean,
They're like
legit.
like if you think about chess, like they're the pawns,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. For sure.
yeah. They're the guys that like, yeah, we don't really care about them. We'll let them go first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Again, I don't know if we'll put anyone in that category, but like that's like a special case.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if I would put anyone in those two.
Yeah. All right, so shall we get started?
We shall.
All right.
You
So
can go first.
so I'll start off with Mr. Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
all right, all right. Ooh.
He is an interesting one. He might kind of be like an elf in the sense that like he's very like he seems like a hippie.
Yeah, but I could also see him being like a hobbit in a
An
way.
elf hobbit hybrid maybe.
Just because I can see him being very just like
Yeah.
chill and just.
Yeah. Man, I don't care about the troubles of the world. I'm just living my life. I got a Miller Lite in my hand and a burger in the other. It's all good, man.
Right?
All right.
All right. Because, I mean, I don't know if you've read any more of his book, but he's very much like, even when he was doing like rom-coms, right?
Yeah.
He really wasn't like a settler. Like, he didn't settle. Like, he was like, oh yeah, me and my dog, we just would...
Got an RV or whatever and just drove the country, man.
Yeah. He's like, we would stay in trailer parks, and everyone would be like, oh my God, Matthew McConaughey's in this trailer park.
Right. Or like, man, I'm just going to go down to the Amazon River and just...
Yeah. He's like, wherever we felt like going
I'm gonna float naked down the Amazon River, man.
Oh, he would.
Yeah, and he did. And he also got arrested naked.
He did?
While on drugs. I do get to that part in the book.
You did?
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
But I could see him being... But I get what you're saying with the elf.
Yeah.
Being like an elf. I don't know. I could see him being either one.
Yeah.
He does have that, like... He's not very corruptible, because I feel like he's set in, like, what he... Well,
he is a very unique person in the world of Hollywood. Like... Like, to that point, like, he's not really... He wasn't ever really corrupted in Hollywood, right? Like, you could go down that spiral of just drugs and alcohol, and, like, he did do, like, alcohol and, like, drank, but, like, not to the point where it ruined his life.
Yeah, and I don't think that was because of Hollywood. You know, like...
Right, that was just him living his life.
Yeah. No, but I think you're right. Like, he's very, like, stern in his beliefs.
Yeah.
And, like... So, yeah. It maybe more elf.
Yeah, maybe.
With a little bit of Hobbit
mixed in. Yeah.
tendencies.
Yeah. All right. Who you got?
Johnny Depp.
I knew it. Like, I knew the first person out of your mouth.
That was the first person that came to mind. It was either that or Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. We're going with Johnny.
With Johnny. He's a tougher one, though.
I would say he's a dwarf.
You think so? Okay, I want to know why you think that.
I feel like because he's not really. He comes off more as a dwarf.
Okay.
Where he's like more, you feel like he'd be hard and just like stubborn and just like...
Because on the surface he seems like a chill guy, but I feel like he's very like hard-hearted and... He's
actually... From what I've heard, whether or not this is true.
Yeah.
He's very, like, genuine and sweet and nice.
Yeah.
And really caring.
Right.
And giving. And, but I went with a dwarf just because when you listen to his tapes with Amber Heard, and she's, like, really pounding at his character, and he very, like, he kind of fought in that, like, valiant kind of, like, not even just, like, I mean, metaphorically, right?
Right.
I don't know. But he's not, like... I could also see him being an elf, because he can be very wise. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's very corruptible, either. Like, I feel like he's the same as Matthew, very set in his beliefs. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Where would you put him?
I don't know. Like, I could see, like, the hard-heartedness in him of, like, a dwarf. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I could also see him being, like, part man, where he's, like, he can be very courageous and very, like, come on, guys, let's go. Like, let's, you know.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Part man. Which he actually is.
What?
What? Excuse me?
Yeah, I could see that, too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like he's... Why I think of elf, why I said this, because I feel like he's wise, but not like that, like, book smart wise, like, life experience wise.
Like street smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's been through shit.
Yeah. Like, he's one of those guys, like, if you told me he dropped out of school, like, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Like, he might have, but, like, he's still really smart.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's one of those guys, like, I don't need school, man.
Yeah. No, I know he's had a very hard life.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gotten just a lot of wisdom from that.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Same with Matthew, too, right? Like, he just carries a lot of wisdom with him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know that they really have things figured out for themselves.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
what's
So
your next one?
my next one is Miss Carrie Fisher.
Ooh.
So I see her as being a dwarf.
Okay. I don't
Because
know too much about her, so.
Because I can see her being, like, very stubborn, very, like, hard-hearted. But, and, like, she doesn't, like, let a lot of people in. But if she allows you to come into her life, like, she's hilarious, she's sarcastic, she just knows how to have a good time.
Okay.
She just seems like that kind of person.
Well, I will take your word for that.
All right.
I don't know too much about her.
Well, and even, like, on Star Wars, like, the original series, like, there were quotes that was like, she didn't really know where she was most of the time because she was so hopped up on drugs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, in later interviews, she's like, yeah, I don't remember most of it. Like, she's just there to have a good time, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So she gives off, like, to me at least, very dwarf vibes.
Yeah. I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it based off what you're saying.
Which is interesting because I don't really think of many women as, like, dwarves, right? Like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Right?
Yeah. Huh.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
No, you're right, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, who's next for you?
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton. He's a hobbit. he's a hobbit, man. Like, he's one of those people, like, if it comes down to it, he will fight for what's right when the time comes.
He's very wise in that aspect.
Yeah. But, like, if you just let him go, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. He's a loose cannon. He's
very, like, he's very, like, passionate about the things that he's really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I was, like, obsessed with him in high school, so
Were you?
I knew all
Of course.
because we shared a birthday, so I was like, oh my god.
Oh, really?
But he's actually super smart. Like, he
Yeah.
wanted to go to school. I don't know if he did or how far he got into it. But anyway, he wanted to go to school for biomechanical engineering.
Okay.
Because his twin brother has cerebral palsy, and he wanted to help with, like...
Yeah.
And he does a lot with, like, sex trafficking now. So he's very, like... I don't know, like... There's not, like, wise isn't the word, but, like, very just, like... proactive,
Yeah.
I guess.
Right.
Would that be a good word? But I could see him being in Hobbit, though.
Yeah.
He does care a lot about the outside world, though. So
Yeah,
that's why I
yeah.
don't know if... But I don't know, because he kind of does like to keep in his own bubble,
Yeah.
too.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
I'd definitely say either a man or part man, part hobbit.
Yeah.
Because I do think you're right. I think he's just partly like, hey, man.
Hey, man. Who knows what he's going to do next?
Right? Just won't be here. Leave me alone. Go say you're chill. All right, who do you got?
Kevin Hart.
Oh my god.
Is he another Hobbit? Because he's got the height down.
He definitely has the height down. I would say so.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one that he's like, just leave me.
Let me be, man.
Let me be.
Yeah.
Let me hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Do my acting.
Yeah. Go home back to my family.
And just chill.
Just chill, man.
Yeah, I definitely think you'd be a Hobbit.
Plus his humor is just kind of like Hobbitish, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Plus, like, he also jokes about his height. Like, come on, man. Let's go. You and me. I ain't afraid of you just because you're a few inches taller.
Yeah, right. Well, I feel like that's the same with Ashton. I think they're both, their humors are kind of very Hobbitish.
Right.
Kind of childish, just like laid back.
Right.
Chill.
Chill, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I do know.
Okay, Kevin Hart, Hobbit. Are we in agreement?
Let's do Hobbit. Getting a lot of Hobbits so far.
We are. I don't know if it's a bias that we have.
Listen, just because you became obsessed with Pippin.
How do you not? Okay.
I remember when we first started watching Lord of the Rings, you were so excited for Orlando Bloom as Legolas. And then now it's over and your new obsession is Pippin.
Listen, you even notice it. Like the first movie, I was like, Pippin.
Pippin.
Just so happy. I just relate to that. Like, he's just happy. And he's just like, listen, bro.
I knew you would like him, but I didn't expect you to like him as much as you do.
I like when people are just like, hey, let me be.
He's got like the Ron Weasley energy, kind of, you know?
Which is why I love Ron. Okay? Ron was always my favorite.
And Fred and George. He's got a little bit of that in him, too.
I love them, too. See?
Yeah.
I just draw to...
Pippin's got the Weasley energy.
That's why...
Hey.
That's why I like him.
So Ron Weasley would be a Hobbit, then?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Fred and George definitely would be.
No, they liked messing. Well, yeah. Yeah.
They'd be like the chaotic hobbits. Yeah.
They did care a lot about what that outside world was doing, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a little different.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so while we're talking about Harry Potter characters, Helena Bonham Carter.
ooh, dwarf or elf.
I could see either one, to be honest, which is insane because those two races are so different.
Yeah, I'm actually leaning. Well, I would say dwarf.
Yeah.
Because she's very secretive.
Yeah.
Like, very secretive. Not very, but, like, she likes to keep to herself, just secretive, do her work.
I can see her being a little stubborn, but as well as, like, if she lets you in, she'll be very nice to you, you know?
Yeah, I can see she has a softer side.
Yeah.
But, like, and I don't know if that's just the perception she gives off or if that's really her.
Right.
I don't know, but I'm just going off what her perception is. And I could see she definitely could have a softer side, but yeah, she had, and you have to really get in, like, she has to let you in.
Yeah. For sure.
Were you thinking that?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, definitely not Hobbit. Not even really human, so I guess, yeah, it would be one of those two. You know?
I would agree.
All right. Who's up next for you?
We can kind of stick with the Harry Potter and do Emma Watson.
I considered putting her down too. I could see Elf, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like she's very, like, book smart, as well as kind of common sense smart, but very, very, like, well read, you know?
She's also very, not, like, incorruptible, so she's,
Yeah.
like...
She's very strong in her beliefs.
Yeah.
You know?
And very passionate about them.
Mm-hmm. And trying to, like, make the world a better place, kind of, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also see, like, kind of, in a sense, like, a purity in her. Kind of. In a sense of, like, the elves where, like, they don't really let stuff get to them or stuff corrupt them, and that's kind of, like, the same as her.
They're kind of just very... It's, like, a weird, flowy kind of feeling.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Which Emma kind of gives off for me, at least, you know?
Uh-huh. I was actually going to say that. She kind of gives off that feeling of, like...
Like, almost mystical and, like you said, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I would say...
Elf. Yeah.
Who's your next one?
All right. Jennifer Aniston.
Ooh. Hobbit.
Really?
No.
I might say, like, human.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I could see her being corrupted.
Yeah, I can see her kind of, like, being right down the middle and, like, a human where, like, she can be very courageous, but she could also be, like, kind of corrupted
Easily
as well.
influenced. I don't want to say corrupted, but just easily influenced by power or greed. Because I don't feel like she fits, like, elf.
No, definitely not dwarf.
No.
Not really a hobbit.
If anything, it would be Hobbit, where she's kind of just, like...
But she's very aware of the outside world, like, so much.
She is, though. And that's why I kind of stopped myself, because I was like, she's very socially...
She's very much, like, in the limelight, on the cover of magazines, and...
Well, not only that, but she's very, like, into politics and the societal influence on everything, so...
Yeah, and you see her in commercials for beauty products and all that. So it's like she's very much known, right?
And well, I feel like that goes more into the influence by power and greed, like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, human.
Human?
I agree.
We'll let you be human. I guess.
All right, what about Matthew Perry?
Matthew Perry.
Hobbit,
yeah. Just that goofy energy he has.
But he's also very... almost dwarfish in a way that he's secretive.
Yeah.
But he's not to that extent, because, like, you still know about his life. Like, you still know he went to rehab. He's not, but so I see it as more of, like, that just Hobbit of, like, I like to be in my own bubble.
Right.
And...
yeah, I see it.
And he's not, like, he might care about the outside world, but I see him more as, like, just that, whatever, I just want to be who's around me.
Right. Makes sense.
Where would you put him?
Probably more Hobbitish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
He definitely doesn't fit the others.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Mick Jagger.
Oh my God.
That chaotic ball of energy.
He's so mystical.
I'd say dwarf.
What is your thought process behind that?
Just because, like, he's so hard-hearted and, like, he can be so incredibly stubborn just because he is that well known. And like he does feel like he's kind of like the dwarves can definitely have an ego to them. If you let them,
I
which
agree.
Mick Jagger definitely has.
No.
No.
Yes.
No. If you don't know what we're talking about, watch the John Mulaney Kid Gorgeous special.
Is that how you write songs?
Just verbal abuse.
No, I can, now that you explain it,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because once I show you the Hobbit movies, like there are a few dwarves in there that you'll be like, oh, okay, I can see a little bit of Mick Jagger in you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I could see.
Because the downside with the Lord of the Rings is like just didn't see as many dwarves in that. Just like a couple here and there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I could see it because I'm kind of taking how this says like they're drawn to like the substances like metals and stuff. Mm-hmm. I could see. I'm taking that as like he's kind of drawn to his craft.
Yeah.
In that
Oh
sense.
yeah, that's a good point. It's like dwarves are very obsessed with their work. Mm-hmm. So.
Which I could for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only thing I might not agree with him on that is, well, it says less corruptible than men.
Right.
So they're still a little
Yeah.
corruptible.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good old Mick.
Oh, Mick Jagger. Gotta love him.
Sometimes.
I mean, he's hilarious.
Right.
And gives
Anyway.
good songs.
Right, yeah, for sure. Anyway.
My next one. This might be hard. Have you watched Criminal Minds?
Yeah, a little bit.
The guy that plays Spencer Reed, Matthew Gray Goobler.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Because physically, he looks like an elf. Just like tall, thin, you know? Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know if I would put him as an elf. I don't think I would.
His character Reed, maybe.
Yeah, even then, I don't know.
But not him.
I might say just human.
No.
Really?
Hobbit.
Really?
He's very goofy in real life.
Okay. I guess I don't know him in real life then.
Well, I don't either. Via his Instagram. He's very just like out there.
Okay.
Like just unique. Like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like he's just gonna do what he wants.
Right.
He's not very like, from what I've noticed, political.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know he just likes to keep in his own bubble. Like he just,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
So I would say Hobbit, and he has that goofy kind of like Hobbit sense to him.
Mm-hmm. I can see it. All right. Makes sense.
It's hard when you don't really know him.
All right. Where are we putting our boy Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh Lord.
Definitely not an elf.
Definitely
Or a
not a
hobbit.
I would say dwarf.
Dwarf? Yeah. Like, he can be very intense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know? And he does seem like the actor that is very... Like, he seems like he's obsessed with his work and, like, making a great character.
Mm-hmm.
Where dwarves are obsessed with their work. You
Yep.
know? I can see him, like being
Very
very...
proud, too.
Yeah. Like, he does seem like a goofy guy, but at the same time very stubborn, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a human.
No. Yeah, dwarf.
I mean, he is human, but you know.
Well.
No, I would say dwarf. For sure.
All right. Yeah, we'll pick that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We can do another one of yours while I'm thinking.
Okay. Tom Cruise. Human.
Mm-hmm.
Human. He can be corruptible. 100%.
Scientology.
Well, also, like, you just kind of look in his eyes every once in a while, and, like, I kind of get nervous if I look into his eyes. Like, I don't know what's going on there.
He's a little out there.
Are you okay, Tom?
You're right.
Hey, Tom, you okay?
Hey.
Hey, it's...
Wait, is hello?
The lights are on, but is anyone home?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I would say...
I would
Human.
say
Human.
if he got the ring, he would become the next Gollum.
1,000%.
I could see that.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
He's just in a cave stroking the ring.
My precious.
My precious. Sorry, but that's a Tom Cruise move.
As he's jumping on the couch. My precious.
Your next mission, should you choose to accept it,
Yeah, right.
go destroy the ring. Oh no.
I cannot.
I can't do it, man. The next Mission Impossible movie, go destroy the ring.
Right? Nope.
No,
Nope.
that would be a bad ending.
Like, I can't do it. All right.
So, I don't know a massive amount about this guy, but Clint Eastwood.
Dwarf.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of like those Westerner guys
Or dwarf.
dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obsessed with their work, very hard-hearted, stern,
They're just hardworking.
hardworking.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like very wise, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Dwarf.
Yeah.
All right, what about James Franco?
That's tough. Not an elf.
You would think he'd be a hobbit, but I don't know
No.
if he exactly fits it.
Maybe a human? Maybe. Because I wouldn't put him as an elf.
No.
Maybe not a dwarf either. I don't know if I would do a dwarf for him.
No. I mean, I could see him being stubborn.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. I think human.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of, like, races he would not be, you know? And that just
Yeah.
kind of leaves human for me.
If anything, it might be hobbit
Yeah.
a little bit too, but human.
I feel like humans are like the Hufflepuffs of the Middle Earth world. We're like, oh, you don't fit into anywhere else. Let's just put you in Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Like, I can't think of any race for qualities for you. So you're just a human.
Well, I feel like he can be corruptible by power,
I can see that.
but I don't think he's like a bad person. I just
No.
feel like he can be more influenced by it.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. All right. Miley Cyrus.
Oh,
Oh, is she an orc?
God. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so she started off in her Hannah Montana days as a hobbit, but then she became an orc. Especially doing Wrecking Ball.
Oh,
You're an
Lord.
orc.
She's an orc.
Then she became like a wannabe elf, like all those like hippie albums and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm so what? No, you're a Wrecking Ball. / Hannah Montana.
Then all of a sudden she started dressing nicer when she got back with
Yeah.
Liam and was like, I was behind me. And now she's back to being crazy.
She's 100% a human where she's very corruptible,
She's very influenced.
influenced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
She changes a lot.
Yeah. She's not elf-wise. No.
The only thing elf about her is she loves, like, nature and...
Yeah. But I wouldn't put her as an elf.
No.
Definitely not a dwarf.
No. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Probably human.
Mm-hmm.
Not the good kind either. You're the Boromir of
Such a Boromir thing to say.
Who's Boromir? That's such a Boromir thing to say.
Okay. What about Seth Rogen?
I could kind of see, like, some dwarf qualities in him.
Because he looks like one.
Oh, okay.
That was so mean.
But, like, he can be hard-hearted, but, like, even though he is a pothead.
I feel like he's just a big softie.
Probably, he might be. Yeah. A hobbit that looks like a dwarf.
He's definitely a hobbit. He's like, just give me my weed. Let me be.
Let me eat a burger.
Let me just leave. Like, just let me be. Do my thing.
Speaking of weed, where would we put Snoop Dogg? Would he be a hobbit too?
I don't know.
He'd be the weed dealer of the hobbit community.
I don't know.
It's like, yeah,
he kind of
baby.
gives off like wizard vibes. Like, just like, I'm all powerful. I'm just
Snoop D-O double G, baby.
just gonna chill.
What's up, baby boo?
You do what I want. Oh, shizzle.
Yo, baby, what it do?
I mean, think about it. He's kind of a wizard. Like, he came up with that whole, like, fashizzle, my nizzle, like,
Yeah,
all that.
you're right.
I would say that.
I would say, like, he's...
But he's not, like, wise, like, a
Right,
wizard.
he's kind of like the outcast wizard, almost. Like, he kind of does his own thing.
It's kind of like the wizard that wasn't supposed to be a wizard.
Right.
Somehow is.
Look, technically you're graduated, but...
Like the rebel wizard. The gangster wizard.
Gangsta. Think about it. Gandalf always did have his pipe.
Listen, I'm
He
just
was
saying.
smoking his pipe.
And if you think about it, he kind of gives off those vibes of, like, he's high.
I know what I'm doing, man. You
Higher.
listen to me.
Higher than... holier than thou, or whatever they say.
Yeah. All right, Snoop D-O double G.
Snoop Dogg.
Listen, if he asked me on an adventure at some point, I'd be like, all right, sure.
I mean, yeah.
Let's go.
You got him.
Yeah. All right, so since you brought it up earlier, Taylor Swift. T-Swizzle. Human. She's very corruptible. So corruptible. My goodness. What's wrong with her? She's insane. She's also very, like, power hungry, I feel like.
I don't know.
She's a wannabe elf, but
She is.
she's
She
not
has
an elf.
elf qualities,
Yeah.
but I can't say she's human either, though, because she's pretty... Like, she's kind of corruptible, but in a different way than Miley.
Yeah.
Like, Miley's more of, like, that, like... I'm gonna go with the anti-mainstream corruptible.
Yeah.
Whereas Taylor's, like, more submissive corruptible. Like,
Yeah.
she allows people to influence. Like,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Right.
But I don't know.
It's interesting.
Definitely not a hobbit.
No. Or a dwarf. No.
No.
No. No, no, no.
So I guess we'll go with human.
Yeah. All right.
Because I don't know. Yeah, human.
Yeah. Anyone for you right now?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I had him on my list too.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I see some elf in him a little bit.
Yeah. I see some dwarf, though. He's
Do you?
very hardworking.
Yeah.
Very, I don't know, just like secretive.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that too. Not easily influenced. Definitely not.
He can be, but not easily. Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. So anyway, Leo DiCaprio, dwarf.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I can see elf, though, like what you were saying.
Yeah. Little elf qualities, but maybe more so dwarf.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think,
Right.
but I don't know.
Yeah. Kristen Stewart.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
Orc.
Her and Miley can just go be orcs.
Literally, she's the worst. I would say orc.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know. She's kind of off doing her own thing. Just you never really hear about her. I can see her being very private.
Yeah, or a dwarf.
Yeah. Very stubborn, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a dwarf.
I still say orc.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, where do we want to put the personality of Beyonce?
I don't know. Where would you put her?
I don't know, because I feel like she feels like she's all that. Kind of like that Mick Jagger energy. Where, like,
Yeah.
she's like, I'm great and I know it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm famous and I should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, people love me and they should.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
That, like, ego.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know where we would put that.
She's definitely hardworking.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give her that. Like,
I
you
would
see,
say,
like, some of her concerts, like, they're elaborate.
yeah.
So, I don't know.
Dwarf?
Dwarf, maybe. I could see, like, maybe a little bit of human.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, like, humans in Middle-earth can be very proud people sometimes.
Yeah, and also, like, I feel like, I don't know if I would go as far as to say corruptible, but I know, like, like what kind of, like, she left Destiny's Child to become bigger, and so,
Yeah.
like, that kind of easily, like, corruptible by power or
Yeah.
money.
Right. Yeah. This is kind of a side note, but I always wonder, like, if you took Beyonce or Mick Jagger and just, like, took away their musical talent, like, what would they be? Like, if they weren't a musician and, like, you basically took away all their fame, like, what would they, like, where would that kind of an ego work?
Would they even have that ego, though?
I don't know. Well, I mean, like right now, though. Like, if you took away Beyonce's fame,
like, okay.
like, took that ego and just, like, put that in, like, a construction job, like, that would not go well.
No. That's where the hashtag #MeToo movement comes in.
But, like,
No,
she could never be a bagger at Kroger, right? Like, she could never sink that low after playing to millions of people,
right?
you know? So I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, these musicians just get that ego and that obsession with fame. It's like, you
They
could
do.
never have a normal job again.
No,
Never.
and they wouldn't want it.
No. They would die before they made $15 an hour,
Right?
you know?
Right?
Like, they would do that for fun, right?
Right.
Like, haha, I have a day off. Let's see what these people are like. But they wouldn't actually do that for a living.
No.
I don't know. It's interesting.
You do wonder where they would be.
Right? Yeah.
And that's why I never listen to celebrities' opinions on things, because it's like they don't live in
Yeah.
the everyday life.
Oh, and that's why I was so obsessed with Matthew McConaughey's book, is because you know that he's actually has work ethic and he grew up with a good mindset and he's carried that into his career.
Well,
I mean, he still has that.
well, no, but he also is not one that's going to push his opinions on people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I love it, because you know he has that experience. He's not in that Hollywood bubble to know,
Yeah.
like, oh, my opinion is so great and I have a voice that I need to spread it to people.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'll write a book.
Right.
You want to read it?
Yeah, sure.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. All right. So my next person is Hugh Jackman,
Ooh.
which is a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say Hobbit. Maybe
I
like
almost want to say Elf.
Elf, maybe.
I don't know.
see
What
that.
were you going to say?
I was gonna say like he has like small qualities of a Hobbit, but like he has like a goofy side.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say Hobbit. I wouldn't say. I mean, the only part of a dwarf you would be is like he is insanely hardworking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he's also like insanely talented too. Like he can act, sing, dance. So like he's able to do all that stuff. So he's hardworking. Like a dwarf, he kind of has like qualities of every race almost.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like he fits into one.
Yeah. He also kind of has like some wisdom like an elf.
Right.
And like life experience and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He is very much into his work though, like preparing for roles and stuff.
Yeah.
And like his roles are so different too.
Mm-hmm.
Between Greatest Showman or the Wolverine.
Yeah, he likes a challenge.
Yeah. It is interesting, yeah. I don't know.
More so than anything, I feel like he's either an elf or a dwarf.
Yeah. Maybe. I could see that.
But I could also see him being human, like being courageous.
Yeah. I could see that.
You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like kind of a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
For sure. Faux shizzle.
What about Zac Efron?
That's interesting. I don't know about him.
I don't either.
I really don't know. I don't know if he would be a hobbit. No. Probably not an elf.
He likes traveling too much to be a hobbit.
Yeah.
And he's very interested in, like, the outside world.
Mm-hmm. I could see him being like a human, but like the good side. Like, he's not really corruptible, but he could be. Not as easily as other people, though.
Yeah, I think human.
Right?
Because he's not an elf.
Yeah.
I mean, he does love nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see him as an elf.
No.
And he's not a dwarf. I mean, he's hardworking.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
We'll go human.
All right. Dwayne Johnson?
I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, clearly he's hardworking. He doesn't get those muscles for nothing.
True.
I mean, just in, physically hardworking in his workouts and like, but I don't know. He seems like off camera. He's very like he can be very goofy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of has that Hobbit goofiness, but I don't know if I would put him as a Hobbit though.
Yeah, because he doesn't really fit the other characteristics of a hobbit.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe dwarf, but maybe not as stubborn as a dwarf.
I would say almost elf.
You think so?
Yeah, because I could see him having that life experience wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as much as, like, Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
But, like, I could see him having, like, just being emotionally intelligent in a way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that kind of wisdom.
Yeah.
And caring.
Mm-hmm.
And also very just kind of, like, hippie kind of ish.
Right. Yeah.
But I do see the dwarf, too.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I don't know.
For
Toss
sure.
up. It's a toss-up.
It is. Yeah.
All right, who else we got?
Gosh.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Bradley Pitt.
Bradford. Ooh. I think he is one that probably has an ego, too.
Yeah, I could see that. Because he's very much chick magnet.
Well,
I mean, he is.
he's Brad Pitt.
One of my teachers in high school was very obsessed with him.
He's Brad Pitt.
He is Brad Pitt.
I'm not gonna lie. He's hot.
Hey.
He used to be, too.
Oh, okay.
As he gets older, not so much, but
We didn't talk about that.
it's fine.
I don't know about Brad Pitt.
I'd say human.
Yeah. He's another one that doesn't really fit the other.
I feel like he's kind of secretive, so it's harder to tell.
Mm-hmm. Like it is weird because he's very much in the public eye, but
not.
not. Like everybody knows who Brad Pitt is, but like, do they really know Brad Pitt?
Do they know?
Who is Bradley Pitt?
Who are you?
Bradford, who are you?
When you go home at
Yeah, he's a tough one. He could be secretive like a dwarf.
He's definitely hardworking.
Yeah.
But he has that ego.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to say if he's corruptible like a human.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just go with human.
All right. We'll go with it.
All right, who else we got?
Elvis Presley.
I love that.
I
Not
don't know.
expecting that one
No.
at all.
No.
King of Rock.
King of Rock.
I
I don't know. Very proud, I feel like. I don't know.
He was.
Obviously in the public eye.
Would you say? What do you think if he was? Do you feel like he was corruptible or not? I can't.
He could have been, yeah, because like he kind of did everything. Like, you know.
Yeah.
He got in a lot of trouble later on.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely got into the bad scenes later on in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he died in a hotel room later on.
Was it?
I think so, yeah. Like off drugs or something.
I know he was on the toilet.
Yeah. So maybe just a human, maybe? A man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had to have a little courage to go out there and be the first one
Yeah.
to do all that.
Yeah. because like he was amazing with his music, but he was really the first rock and roll guy with the power of television.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
well, yeah, and to do the moves he was doing on TV was like a big deal back then.
yeah, but it was also risky too. Like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully it did, but you know.
Yeah.
So.
Human.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah. Rock on.
Hey.
Hey.
I like the pun.
I don't know. Any more for you?
I don't know, there was one.
Yeah.
But now the name is slipping my mind.
We'll
I
just say
thought
orc.
of it earlier.
We'll just say orc.
Orc. Any more for you?
Not really.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I would just...
But it's okay. We're hobbits, though. We're good.
Obviously. I just would love to live in the Shire.
Yeah. Live in our hobbit hole. Living the life.
They're all friendly. I mean, some of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Just want to be by yourself.
Don't really care about the outside world, having a good time.
Right?
Yeah.
Just chill.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just sounds like a better life. Like a peaceful, less stressful life.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Plus, I mean, Pippin.
Right.
Plus Pippin. I mean, come on.
Anyway.
You guys can hear my mom. Apparently my dog did something.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of another celebrity. There was one, but now I can't remember.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ooh. We could do our family. What we think our family members.
Oh, boy.
I think my mom would be a hobbit.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
I think so.
Yeah.
She'd be a hobbit.
Yeah.
My dad would be a dwarf.
Same with mine, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think your mom would be?
Kind of some elfish qualities.
Okay.
Just kind of pure, you know, has some wisdom.
Yeah, that could be my mom too.
Yeah. Has that knowledge,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't know. We'll just be kicking it in the Shire, though.
Listen,
Having parties.
I'm just going to be hanging with Pippin.
It's okay. I'll be with Mary.
Eating our second breakfast. There is any man after my heart, it would be that. Second breakfast. I'd be like, oh! How did you know?
Wait, what did you say? Second breakfast? Yeah, it's like first breakfast, but there's another one.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Let's get married. I love you
And
already.
then in the afternoon we have like tea and biscuits.
This
Then we have like,
is the life.
and then after dinner it's like, okay, we had dinner, but like, do you want supper?
Let's go to the bar, have some
Yeah.
beers.
Yeah.
Listen.
What is that? It's a pint. It comes in pints? I'm getting one.
Just like, okay. Honestly, when I watched Pippin, I was like, this is exactly how I would react during these things. Maybe not in the more serious moments I wouldn't,
Right.
but just in general.
Yeah.
Like, I just would.
Yeah.
That's why I love him so much.
Right.
Just like, yeah, literally me, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I always kind of like, I loved Merry, which I know he wasn't necessarily like everyone's favorite, but I loved him.
I thought he was...
Like, he's obviously with Pippin, like he's insanely goofy and like
He has some goofy qualities.
yeah, and like can get into trouble, but like it's like an innocent trouble, right?
Yeah.
Like it's never meant to harm anyone.
See, that's what I love too, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, like, he's a very emotional guy. Like, he's very caring and loving, and, like, he loves Pippin so much, you know?
I can see you kind of being like Merry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very goofy in an innocent way, but also
goofy?
very, what? But also very, like, caring and, like, if I love you, man, I freaking love you.
It's just
Merry.
it, right?
That's it, man. Yeah, that's it.
I can see that.
Yeah. And especially in Return of the King, he was very much like all my friends are like doing all this stuff. Like, I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, but yeah, he also had his serious side, which you can have too.
Yeah.
It's like
100%. Yeah.
100%.
All right.
I don't know. I always felt like Pippin was me. I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because Pippin got serious.
He did. It wasn't all the time. It was hardly ever.
I'm way more serious than Pippin, but yeah, at heart.
Yeah. Also, at the very end, when Frodo's leaving Middle Earth, like, Merry and Pippin crying was like
Heartbreak.
more heartbreaking than Sam, honestly, because you knew Sam was gonna cry.
Right.
You know.
But then it's like,
Oh, Merry and Pippin.
They're so innocent and they're crying. Poor people.
Anyway.
And I feel like the actors that play them are the same way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why I love following Billy Boyd.
Dude, and that's the hilarious thing, too, is, like, him and Dom Monaghan, who play Merry and Pippin, like, they're bros in real life, too.
It's like real life Merry and Pippin.
Yeah. It's great. And I'm all for it.
I feel like Dom might be a little bit more goofy than Merry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they're real life like Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
And I love it. I feel like we're real life Merry and goofy like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
It's great.
Oh, just watching their interactions are amazing.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Perfection.
And when they're in the second movie, when they're being carried away by orcs, Mary's just like, man, Pippin, I don't think we should have left the Shire. This is a bad idea, man. Yo, orcs, can you take us back to the Shire?
You're right.
Just drop us off.
Just over there. It's fine.
That's fine. It's fine. Anyway. Fun stuff. I still have to show you the Hobbit movies, which I know you're still, like, having PTSD over Lord of the Rings and how long that was.
I am not. It wasn't torture. I liked the movies a lot. They were good.
Yeah.
Last one was a little long. Well, you kept thinking it was going to end.
Right. Like the 10 endings.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, there's more?
What? There's more? And that's what I was saying, like, at the end of The Return of the King, when everyone's in the theater having to pee. You're like, guys, when's it going to end? Oh, there's another scene. Guys have to pee. Let's wrap it up. But no, we have to find out what happens to Aragorn. Okay, we don't care. I have to pee.
I'm not sitting through in this movie again.
Anyway.
They were long movies, but they were good.
Yeah, when we watch The Hobbit, we'll let you guys know.
Mm-hmm. It's on our list.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think that's about wraps it up, though.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's it.
All right. Have a good week. Stay out of trouble.
Yeah, stay safe.
Stay safe, my peeps.
In the crazy world out there.
Unless if you live in another country, then you're good. You're fine. Anyway.
You're not wrong. Just saying. All right.
Anyway.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
Have a good week. Stay hobbity.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good week.